Coach's Corner is your source. Baseball, football, soccer, and hoops. The Coach's Corner has the scoop. It's the Coach's Corner with Andy.
Covering Tri-State sports, it's the Coach's Corner with Andy on 92.1 The GOAT.
It's the Coach's Corner.
Hey, welcome back to the Coach's Corner. I've got Stacey Crawford here with me today. She's the head coach of the indoor track and field team at Smithsburg High School. How you doing, Stacey?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm good. Hopefully you're staying warm over there. The weather has definitely been feeling like winter. It's snowing here. I don't know about, are you at Smithsburg now or?
No, I'm actually at my day job.
Okay.
Off Leitersburg Pike. So it's, It looks like it's a little yucky out there.
Yeah, it's a very gloomy, wintry looking day, but nonetheless, we are here and I'm excited to have you on today. Smithsburg has a little bit of a reputation in the running community, if you want to call it that. They're very, what's the word I'm looking for? Decorated is a good word, I think. Your girls won the 1A state title last year in indoor track and field. The boys placed second, I think we said. Was that right?
That would have been 2 years ago.
2 years ago, they were second.
Second, yep.
Your cross country team thrives. The outdoor track and field team is great. Running is definitely a sport that Smithsburg is very good at. Is that because of all the hills in Smithsburg? Is that why all your athletes are so conditioned so well?
Well, I think that the hills could have something to do with it, but I think we have just a dedicated bunch of athletes that, running is a very internally motivated sport. And so, they have that drive to want to succeed. And, for a 1A school, we perform and outperform every year. So it's a pleasure to be a part of that team.
Yeah, it's awesome to see all the coaches do so well. I've talked to a couple Smithsburg coaches here and there. I've also talked to your athletic director, Ryan. Ryan and I go way back. We played Little League together. Long way back. All great coaches, all great people. Smithsburg, lucky to have each and every one of you. Let's talk a little bit about your coaching experience. So most recently, you were assistant coach of the indoor track and field team and outdoor. Is that right?
Yep. So I have I've been with Smithsburg since 2019, I guess, the indoor season. And as an assistant, I was a head coach during the indoor season during the 21-22, and then stepped away last year to take care of some family things, and was lucky enough to come back this year. So I love Smithsburg and have been coached there for several years. So
you also did a little bit of coaching for cross country and indoor and outdoor track at HCC, right?
I did. I was the assistant coach for Hagerstown Community College track or cross country, indoor and outdoor track back in the 2012 to 2015 range. So so coaching is a long time thing.
How did you get into coaching? Was it a passion that you always had, that you had a goal to do as you got into your adult life?
Not really. I mean, I ran in high school. I actually went to Westminster High School, so a fairly large high school in Carroll County, and then at West Virginia University. And so my normal job, I'm the president of the community foundation here locally. So didn't really drive me towards coaching with that schedule, but my children have all gone through Smithsburg High School. And so when they were there and Ryan was the athletic director, he was gracious enough to give me a shot helping out. And then prior to that, I had worked at Hagerstown Community College in their administration team, and just kind of helped to first volunteer and then became an assistant. So I've always loved track. I've been a runner all my life. And so it's nice to give back.
Cool. Very cool story. So when you were at HCC, what years were you there?
I was there. I started in the cross country season of 2012, I think it was, or 2013. Yep. Through the end of 2014. So,
okay. I went to HCC a little bit before that. I attended there. I didn't run track and field or anything. Were you on the administration team when you were coaching? Okay.
Yep. Yeah. I started at HCC in 2012. 12, I guess, or
Yeah.
late 11. And I was in
Yeah.
charge of their foundation. So we administered all the athletic and academic scholarships
Okay,
for
cool. Oh, that's
HCC.
cool.
Yeah. And I left there in 2018
Okay.
to take my new position.
HCC's got some great athletes as well, and their sport programs are very they're pretty high up on the community college level. They do really well.
Yeah.
I know the track and field team does well. Do you know Grant Smith?
Oh, I know Grant. Yes. And
Yeah.
Grant helped coach a little bit when I was during the times that I was there on the thrower side. So, yeah. And
I've
Jordan
had
Lowry.
Grant.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
I've had Grant on a few times here. And we with his business, his personal
Yeah.
training business that he has. Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
He set a couple records there, didn't he?
Yes, he was a national champ. So
Yeah.
which is
Very
great.
cool.
Yeah, HCC has a great program also, and the Spindlers are there now coaching and have done a phenomenal job. They just and we've sent several kids from Smithsburg that way to continue their running career. So
Yeah, community college is a great place to start and get your footing if
Yep.
you're unsure, even in a sport, or if you're unsure of what you want to do college wise. That's the route I took, and I ended up at Shepherd. And I wouldn't have, if I went back, I'd do it the same way over again.
Yeah.
I loved being close to home, and HCC was a great school. They weren't as big now, like campus wise, as when I was there. I went there. We just went there for a gymnastics meet for my 5-year-old because she's at 4-star gymnastics in Hagerstown, and they had their showcase that they do each year there. And I hadn't been on campus in years. I didn't even know they had a turnaround there now. They used to be light. Yeah, so I was like, what's this? And then we get on campus and they have that new science building. And I was like, man, that thing looks like a skyscraper.
Yeah. The facilities are wonderful. The administration and the faculty are wonderful. I'm a little biased. My husband's the director of enrollment there. So
Oh, okay. So you have to speak good.
Yeah, keep talking it up. But no, we love, and we love our the ability to go to HCC and have our indoor track meets. I mean, is just phenomenal for us, especially as coaches. It's 15-minute drive instead of a lot of schools coming from all over, to find an indoor track. And so we're very blessed to have that in our area.
Yeah, and all of the meets are at HCC.
Correct.
For the regular
all
season.
of our regular season meets are there. We used to have our region meet there, which would be what is our state qualifier.
Okay.
But now they've leveled the playing field per se for everyone. So all region meets will be held at the Prince George's Athletic Center,
Gotcha.
right down by the FedEx or whatever the field's called now.
Yeah.
So which is where the state is. Yeah. No, it's not terrible. And again, we get the luxury of all season just having to go 15 minutes. So
yeah. It's
Then it's a
fully
nice
all year
start.
long. You can drive a little bit for that.
Yeah.
So, do you have anybody returning from that state title winning team last year
Yeah.
for the girls' side?
Yes, actually, we're returning all of our girls with the exception of one. As far as Michaela Gross, who was one of our standout distance runners, is now running at HCC. She actually was the Region 20 cross country champion this year for HCC.
Awesome.
But other than that, we are returning majority. We have a roster size about 70 kids, and 22 of them are seniors.
Wow.
So on our sprint side, Jenna Howe and Taylor King are back as seniors this year. Grace Ellis is there again, multiple state championships under her belt. Then on our distance side, we bring in all the girls that were the three-peat last year with. They won the state cross country indoor and outdoor title last year on the girls' side, and so. Kayla Hallbecker and Cora Gensel and Ella Fisher are there pulling up the 1632, which is no one's favorite events other than theirs. So we're very lucky, and we're backfilling with a lot of younger underclassmen. And as a coach, that's the hardest thing, is to keep those girls motivated to continue to come, because in indoor track, you get 2 JV meets and that's it. And so, and in most of our meets, you get 2 entries per event. So if you're not one of the top 2, you're coming to practice every day, hoping you can work your way into a spot. So my goal is always to keep those sophomores, freshmen, juniors that aren't on the top 2 of each event wanting to come back, because those seniors are going to graduate and
Yeah,
we
exactly.
want this to continue.
So
So
how do you determine who the top two are that get to compete? Do they qualify?
yeah, so it's super easy in track, as opposed to maybe a lot of other
Uh-huh.
coaches. The times tell. The
Yeah,
clock
yeah.
tells you who's the fastest. The tape tells you who throws the longest. The bar tells you who can vault or high jump the highest. And so it's pretty it's pretty black and white there. You know
Yeah.
exactly what's going on. There's not a lot of subjective decision making like you would with the position playing kinds of teams. And so we do a lot of data gathering for
Mhm.
our practices. But Coach Rudy and I really believe in having that data to back our decisions. And so we do a lot of prediction workouts and things that'll tell us, this is what's going on. And most of the time they're pretty accurate. If you're practicing well, you're probably going to perform well, or at
Yeah.
least we can educate you on how to race well. But so that's how we make our decisions, and it holds true. And then of course our JV meets do give us the opportunity to see those others in action. So the much of December is spent kind of mixing around with everything, and then when January and championship season comes, we're really looking at, hey, this is who can score. Because most people don't realize that track really is a team sport, and
Hmm.
you're scoring in events, and you're trying to win a team title as well as your individual goals.
Hmm.
So when championship season comes, it's a lot of it's a chess game,
Yeah.
figuring out who can be in what event and scores points.
So when you guys hold those qualifiers yourselves, right? The county doesn't do it. It's the
For
school's
these,
responsibility.
yep, for these
Okay.
meets to decide who's in events, yes, we are the decision makers in
Okay.
that aspect. When you get into championship season at the region meet, when you put your athletes out there, they have to meet a standard in order to get to the state meet. And
Yeah.
so it's the top three out of each event in that region, and our
Hmm.
region is very large. So
Hmm.
we're 1A West, but that encompasses three schools in Allegheny County, one school in Garrett, three schools in Carroll County, Brunswick and Catoctin and Frederick, and then Clear Spring, Hancock, and us in
Yeah.
Washington County. So
It's a lot.
it's a lot to make the top three in an event
Yeah.
out of all those schools.
So speaking of the events, we talked a little bit about the running events, and you were
Yep.
mentioning, qualifying, talking about, the bar can only be set so high, throwing so far. What other events are there? There's shot put.
Yep. So you have
Sure.
your field events in indoor are the shot put. That's your only throwing event. The
Hmm.
high jump
Okay.
and the pole vault. And
Okay.
so some places have long jump in there. We don't yet in Maryland as a real event. Mainly because many of our indoor track facilities are not equipped for a long jump pit
Mm.
to have that. So those are your field events. And then on your sprint side, you have your 55 hurdles, your 300, 500, 800, 1600, and 3200, and then three relays, a 4x2. So each runner runs 200 meters, a 4x4. Each runner runs 400, and a 4x8. So each runner runs 8. So it's 13 indoor events,
Okay.
as opposed to outdoor, it's 18. So you add the jumps and
Yeah.
some different running.
So plenty of options
Oh
for
yeah.
any athlete that comes in if they're unsure of what they want to do. One
Yep.
question I do want to ask you that I was thinking about this morning. I watched the Olympics this past year. I know this isn't an event that you guys do in high school. What is the steeplechase?
Oh, yeah. So the steeplechase is a distance race where the runner is running over 3,000 meters,
Okay.
which is, just shy of 2 miles. And they are also going over barriers. And so you'll see there's the water barrier, the big one that's kind of wooden, and they hop over
Yeah.
it. And there's also hurdles within there. So
Why
it,
water?
I don't know the history behind the steeplechase, but it is
Yeah.
an intriguing event, and is an event that a lot of times when our runners will go on to college, if they are successful in events, like the 2 mile on the track, they'll often want to try,
Hmm.
that steeplechase. Looks terrifying to me. So
Yeah, it looks really grueling. I was watching it and I was like, man, these guys are putting themselves through so much
yeah,
in
it's a
just
lot on your
one
legs.
race. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong; it's an interesting event to watch, but
Yeah.
probably not one I would choose.
Yeah.
So when you get into the different kinds of sports, or I'm sorry, the different kinds of events that you have offered, are there any special kind of equipment that your athlete needs to get themselves? Do you provide all that as the school?
Yeah, yeah. So, back in my day when we were running, we needed a pair of shoes. So and
Well,
that's
yeah.
about it. And they were pretty standard what you got.
Hmm.
Of course, now as technology and things have evolved, there are spikes and running, racing flats. But, many of our kids, and we say to our parents, especially as they're trying out track, a good pair of running shoes is pretty much what you need.
Yeah.
Our uniforms are obviously shorts and a singlet. But then on the field side of things, we provide the poles for pole vaulting. The shots we use, HCC's house shots or our shots from Smithsburg. So there's really not a lot of, but you'll see kids just like in any other sport. They've got therapy, massage guns. They've got, rollers. They've got Normatec boots. They've got, I mean, the sky's the limit if you want to buy all that stuff. But
Yeah.
in reality, track is really about that consistent practice, and continuing to kind of craft what you're doing. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's great too, especially if you're a parent and your kid wants to get into
Yeah.
it. Oh, it's simple and easy, so I don't have to get too much. Unless, of
Yeah.
course, like you said, they get into,
Yeah.
they get, get really involved in it. Maybe you need to get all that extra stuff, but that's down the road. So just
No,
to start,
good water
starting,
bottle and a good pair of shoes, and we
there
can
you go.
probably make you an athlete.
Shoot, you can even run barefoot if you want.
That's right. Yeah, that was a thing. So.
So do you have any personal goals as yourself for a coach this season, going into the 2024-2025 track and field indoor season?
I mean, of course, my main goal, and especially as a female coach and of coming through as an athlete myself, is always to keep our athletes healthy. And so, and that often happens more on the girls' side. Girls tend to, get themselves unhealthy quicker than boys. Boys seem to push through stuff. So I'm always really just cognizant of making sure that we're balancing training with all the other things that they're doing. Look good, feel good, run good is kind of my thing. And so if they're healthy and they feel good and they're positive, then the race is going to be better than it would be if they're, not in a good headspace or not feeling it, so that's my main goal. We have a great team. We have solid senior leadership, which is always super helpful. I can be handling something and our seniors will take the warm up and go with it. They know it. They understand kind of that culture of what we've created at Smithsburg and that championship mentality. So that makes my job easy. And then it's just really trying to make sure that we bring along those younger kids that are trying to break through and have them realize, we're going to graduate 21 or 22 seniors here, and there's going to be a lot of blank spaces next year that need filled. And it's a good problem to have. But it also is a challenge to make sure that they feel valued right now and that they want to continue to train, because their season really will be done in the beginning of January while we go into championship season until February. So those are my real goals at this point in time. Our boys side has some crazy potential right now. And I almost don't even want to talk too much about it because they were kind of sleepers in cross country and they ended up second in the state.
Wow.
And so we have some really cool performances, and they're a lot of younger boys that are going to you're going to hear their names this year.
Yeah, cool. Well, good luck this season to you guys. I know you all will do great. Good luck chasing you're trying to three-peat or four-peat?
Yeah, three-peat,
because you have two in a row for girls.
Side. Yep.
On the indoor side. Well, good luck to you there. I'm sure you guys will do excellent.
If you'd like to be featured on the Coach's Corner with Andy, email coach at 921thegoat.com.